Hey everybody, it's your boy VG Time back again with another deck profile. This time bring you the deck that I plan on playing at my locals for the coming future. It's going to be the deck I'm going to tune over a few weeks. And this is the new Boba Fett leader. This leader has caught my attention due to how well I've seen it do in draft and in the pre-releases. So I decided to pair with some cards and see how it goes. The path I'm going is with aggression. I've seen that some people were playing it with cunning because of his interaction with ambush, but I decided to go with the cards I had the best pool of, and so here we go. What does he do? Pretty straightforward. What he does is if you play a battle card or a unit with a keyword skill, you're able to rest them to give another one of your units +1. So you could either get a unit that you played, or you could give a unit that doesn't even have a keyword skill +1 as long as the unit you played has a keyword skill. He flips at 6, which puts him on the backside. He is a 4/7, just like his cunning counterpart, except for he costs one more. And then he has a static buff to each unit with keyword skills getting +1/+0. So usually when you flip him, you're ending the game that turn, assuming that you have decent board position. We're going with Tarkin Town. Usually I like 30 health bases. I might end up going back to 30 health base, but Tarkin Town has been calling out to me, especially since this deck does have some restore. So as long as I could heal around 5, I should be able to make it basically the same as a 30 health base. There could also be an argument for having like a 35 health base because you heal around 5 at 30 health. But Tarkin Town puts pressure on your opponent's units and stuff like that. Alright, so with that being said, let's get into it. Starting off, we have 3 copies of Clone Deserter. He is a 1-drop 2/3. On play, you're able to just boost him up to a 3/3, just in case your opponent has like something random. He does have a bounty on him, so that if he is defeated, they get to draw a card, and he has Restore 1, which helps us towards that goal of at least healing up a little bit. Then we have 2 copies of Spec Force Soldier. This guy right here helps us to get around Sentinel by shutting off a card's Sentinel ability. We have 3 copies of Battlefield Marine. Even though he himself doesn't have a skill per se, being a 3/3 is very strong. And then we have the ability of playing other cards with the keyword skills to pump them. And there's another card in the deck that kind of hacks what the deck is able to do, which is the other reason why I chose to go with aggression. We have 3 copies of Echo Base Defender, 4/3 Sentinel. If you're looking at it from a Sentinel perspective, he's not really that great because 3 toughness is not really great on a Sentinel. But the fact that he has 4 attack plus the ability to pump, which means he'll be like swinging for 5 and whatnot, that makes him great by itself. 3 copies of Sundari Peacekeeper. Sundari Peacekeeper has Raid 2 and Restore 2. So typically it swings for 3 and heals for 2, which is a 5-point life swing. Again, being able to heal incidentally here and there while also pressuring the opponent is very strong. And being a 1/5 means he's pretty difficult to take down. Because we do run a decent amount of rebels in this deck, we do still play 2 copies of Fleet Lieutenant. The ability to play it and swing with anything is really strong to be as far as action economy, but if it happens to be a rebel, it swings for 2 more. Going to the 4s, we have 3 copies of K2SO. K2 is just a good card overall. But the new card and one of my favorite cards to play in certain matchups is Modded Cohort. It's a 2/4 with Ambush and Raid 2. So typically it swings as a 4/4. But with Boba Fett ability, you get to pump it +1. So then it becomes a Syndicate Lackey on a 4 resource turn, which means if your opponent is playing like a Sabine, for instance, and they just flip it out there all willy-nilly, you're able to play her and take that out. You have to be kind of patient for that, though, and if your opponent is wary, then you might just be caught holding it. So you kind of have to play a weird game as far as that goes. Going on to 5, we have 2 copies of Poe Dameron. I'm playing him because you're supposed to, right? He's 5 drop, 6/6, supposedly best in slot. I still really like Zebarelios because of his ability to control the board state a little bit better than Poe. But Poe is just, supposedly good, so we're going to give it a shot. At 6, we have 2 copies of Gorilla Attack Pod. This card right here comes down usually on a turn that you flip, and it becomes a 5/6, and then whatever else buffs you have on it makes it keep going bigger. As Grit, it comes in active mode as long as it's 15 damage on the base, which is almost always the case. And yeah. Then we have 2 copies of Wrecker. Wrecker has cool ability to pop a guy on play that's on the ground by sacking a resource. You just deal 5 to it, which is enough to kill most things out there. Cards that don't kill is like Poe Dameron or some other 6 drops or something like that. But you're at least going to get something on the table. He's also a 7/6 with Overwhelm, which means the static buff of Boba Fett, making him an 8/6, means he puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, either by attacking them directly or running over cards. So yeah, definitely nothing to sneeze at. Going into space, we have 3 copies of Green Squadron A-Wing, a heroic all-star. New card, we're doing Gray Squadron Y-Wing. This has a skill. It's not a keyword skill, but at least it's a skill that's kind of cool and works along with Tarkin Town, which is on swing. You can either, your opponent chooses whether or not they deal 2 damage to their base or to one of their units. Sometimes that seems inconsequential, but with Tarkin Town, it's not. If they don't want to lose that unit, you can swing with this guy. If they put 2 damage on it, then you can Tarkin Town it on your next action. And if it's something that they want to keep around, they'll just take the 2 damage to the base and have to kind of think about that. So making your opponent think and make decisions is usually a good thing. Red 3. So this is a card that made me play aggression. Not only does it help you deal more damage by giving raid 1 to everything, giving everything raid 1 basically triggers this guy's ability, and when he's flipped, they will all get the +1 buff, even something like a Battlefield Marine, because it has raid 1 now that Red 3 is out there. And lastly, for space, we have 1 copy of Bright Hope. Yeah, sometimes you just need a Sentinel. Trying out this new card, Spark of Hope. It's a pretty easy card to set up. It costs 2, and if a unit died this turn, you get to choose it and put it into play as a resource. One of your units die, of course. You can't use it on your opponent's unit, even though that would be kind of crazy. But no, it's only on your unit. So if you know you want to ramp to the 6 energy because you need to flip early, you just run your guy into one of their guys, trade, hopefully. They use this to go into that guy in a timely way. Rebel Assault, again, we play a decent amount of Rebels. So usually it's not too hard to get 2 on the table to hit for big damage. And that's kind of what this deck does. It hits consistently, but sometimes it just hits for wild damage out of nowhere. Like, okay, yeah, I just attacked you for 15, with one guy. It's type of damage. It's kind of crazy. Going along with that, we have Heroic Sacrifice. Heroic Sacrifice gives +2/+0, draws you a card, and attacks with the unit. But if the unit deals damage, it sacks the unit. Notable combos with that is, of course, K2SO, who just by itself deals 9. But with the Boba ability, if it pumped it at all, will make it deal 10. Another one is Poe Dameron. If Poe Dameron is pumped at all, it'll swing for 7, 8, 9, and then deal 2 off his own ability, so that's 11. And then if you happen to have Red 3, it bumps those numbers up 1 more, so on and so forth. Then we have 3 copies of 4 Cause. Yeah, so 4 Cause is the other reason to play aggression. Just having the ability to directly burn your opponent is pretty powerful. It does require you to have like a space to use it, but it burns your opponent directly, and it also sets up your next draw, so you're not drawing like hot garbage. So we like that. And then a new card we're trying out is Heroic Resolve. I personally believe this card probably won't be in the final list, only because playing random upgrades is kind of risky. But if you're able to just do all these abilities in the same turn, the same phase, so you just play it up there, they don't pop it immediately, and then you just pay the 2 to pop his own self. You then get to attack with a unit, giving it +4/+0 and overwhelm, which is pretty strong. So that is basically the list. I'll have gameplay up on it for the channel, so look out for that, and I'll catch you guys again next time. This is VG Time signing out.